Hello everybody, Jim here. How's everybody doing tonight? Coming to you on this rather warm night here in Tokyo. Really windy too, for whatever reason. It's been like super windy today, so if you hear some noise in the background, that'll be my windows rattling from all the wind going on here. But yeah, fantastic. Enjoying the summer. A little bit of a summer break, sort of like a summer break from work, not from YouTube. Still, actually, the less time I spend at work, really the more time I put into YouTube stuff. So it's a break in a sense. Although YouTube is a lot more fun than like real work. I know, like you know, some people will be like, oh, you know, I'm a professional YouTuber, this is my job, and it's work and everything. And I guess it is, like, you know, there are YouTube videos where you put a lot of work into them, a lot of time and energy can go into them, but it's not the same as like going to work and working for someone else. And I don't know. So I'm on a break from work, from teaching, but really having fun doing some of this YouTube stuff, so that's great. I got a beer in hand as usual. Usually if I record anything at night, it's going to be accompanied by a beer. We have some Asahi super dry. There we go. That's the sound we like. And I am kicking off, again, this lovely, warm, windy summer night here in Tokyo. Cheers, everybody. Ah, that's the good stuff right there. That'll, great way to kick off a night. Anyway, the purpose, because I know a lot of people hate that. They hate the preamble before the actual topic of the video, so I won't waste any more time. The topic, tonight's video: what makes a smaller YouTuber, or whatever, however I'm going to title this. Kind of question that came to my mind because I had made a video fairly recently, and the topic was what keeps you motivated as a smaller YouTuber. Because, you know, big YouTubers, which, I mean, we're going to talk about this, it's kind of subjective. In my mind, like, a big YouTuber is someone who they don't need a job or anything like that, or a Joe job, so to speak. They can just work on YouTube exclusively. They make enough money from YouTube and other various means that's all they have to do with their time. So that doesn't necessarily mean like a subscriber count, because subscriber counts, I think we can all agree, are very deceptive. There are some channels where they have a subscriber count it looks fairly high, maybe in the high, like, 80-something thousand up to like 100,000 or more. But the views are not there. Maybe they have like 100,000 views, but they get like 100,000 subscribers and get like 5,000 views per video, which, I mean, even if you put a video out like every day, that's not really like a living wage. When I think of what's a big YouTuber, I think of someone who, maybe they have multiple hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but their videos get like a substantial view count, somewhere in the region of like 50,000, 100,000 each, or more, or something. So someone who's like consistently putting out video content that gets a lot of views, and conceivably, like, their ad revenue alone would be like considered a living wage. That's what I think of as like a bigger YouTuber. So not necessarily sub count, because again, you could look at a sub count of someone and be like, oh, they're a bigger YouTuber, they have this many subscribers. But you look at like their view count, and they don't even get like 10% of their actual like subscribers watching their videos. So that's kind of deceptive, and I fall into that category too. And the reason I kind of thought about this was because the previous video was about staying motivated as a smaller YouTuber when you're not making like enough money where, oh, I can just live off of this. Because obviously if you're a big YouTuber and you make, I don't know, like 5 figures a month, that's pretty substantial motivation. That's, you know, a lot of money. And I know, so, you know, I'm acquainted with some YouTubers and stuff who they make really good money on YouTube, so it's pretty obvious that, you know, that would be a motivating factor. But if you're someone who doesn't really make very much money on YouTube, like, what keeps you going? And I, you know, when I was saying all this, I was saying it from the perspective of seeing myself as a smaller YouTuber. My subscriber count, my view counts, like the amount of money I make every month, which, like, full disclosure, like, the most money I've ever made in ad revenue on YouTube ever in a single month was about $500. And that month I got like 250,000 views. Yeah, it was like 250,000. It was like almost 250,000 views on my channel. It was just like, for whatever reason, a really good month for my channel. And I got like, it was about $500 that month, which is definitely nothing to scoff at. I put that $500 to good use, but again, that's the most I've ever made in a single month on YouTube. So I, you know, consider myself to be in that smaller YouTuber vein where, you know, I put out plenty of videos, they get a few thousand views, maybe at the end of the month I made like a couple of $100, and that's nice. And I can either use that to pay like a couple of bills, or I can set it aside for a rainy day and like buy a game or something. But looking at my comments, there were some people that were like, you know, I don't really consider you to be a smaller YouTuber. You've got 30-something thousand subscribers and you get however many views on your videos. Some people were saying, you know, if I got the kind of views you do on my videos, I would be like so happy with that. So from my perspective, you are a bigger YouTuber because of your subscriber count and your view count. So I suppose for some people it's like really relative, like whether or not you consider someone a smaller YouTuber or a bigger YouTuber is relative to how you view yourself, right? If you view yourself as like a smaller YouTuber, maybe if you're someone who has like, I don't know, 1,000 to, you know, 3,000 or 4,000 subscribers, maybe you'd look at someone who has like 30-something thousand and be like, okay, that's a bigger YouTuber because it's considerably, you know, more subscribers than I have. But then when you're sort of like in that position of being someone who has like between like 30 and 60,000 subs or whatever, maybe you look at people who have like 150,000, 300,000, and you go, oh, that's a bigger YouTuber. And then I think we can all agree that the people with like millions of subs and millions of views and they're making ridiculous sums of money, I think we can all agree that they could accurately be described as a big YouTuber. They're the big time. They're the Hollywood of YouTube. So yeah, that's what we're talking about. As I just said all that, I do still consider myself to be like a smaller YouTuber. I think I have like a kind of a more niche audience that, you know, they like the videos I make, but it's not like a huge audience, and I don't know that it ever will get like much bigger than what it is now. Maybe it, like incrementally it grows, which is, you know, what it's done the entire time I've been on YouTube. I think I've had this channel going since 2011, so it's grown incrementally over time, and with sometimes like little jumps, little boosts in subscribers and stuff. But yeah, so what I consider a smaller YouTuber, someone who is not living off of YouTube. I think of bigger YouTubers as the people that can sort of quit their job and you know, like buy a house with their YouTube money. So I don't know, it's relative. But I did ask this question on Twitter. Filler time, yay! I don't actually have to make this stuff up myself. I asked this question on Twitter, and I got a lot of responses from people, and they're kind of all over the place a little bit. Again, giving to the subjective nature of this, so I'm gonna read some of these Twitter responses, and let's discuss, shall we? First up, right off the top, great guy here on YouTube, Shmup Junkie, chimed in. Love his channel, by the way. Go check out Shmup Junkie. if you haven't already. He says, I'd go by average views, not subs, but it's just a label. In my opinion, anyone like us doing it as a hobby and fun on the side, not as a primary income, is a small YouTuber, which is a good point. At our level, you could say it's like side income. It's a little extra thing on the side, and I guess maybe he's saying, you know, as long as you're kind of like in that position where this isn't like your whole life, you know, this is a thing that you're doing on the side when you're not working and when you're not doing other things, if you're taking care of your family or something like that, and you make a few bones, then that's good. You're, I guess by his definition, you're a smaller YouTuber. Nick Cash says, if you're getting under 2 million views, then you're still small time. You know you hit the big time when you can get to 1 million subs and hit 50 million views. I'm guessing that's all together. So totally different, you know. He's saying if you're under 2 million views, then you're small time. And I'm guessing he means like collectively. Like my channel has lifetime almost 5 million views, but again, that's across like 11 years. So, but you're big when you've got 1 million subs and 50 million views overall. Okay, well that is pretty big. I won't argue that. Hoosier Rail Writers, sub count and views. I would say you have graduated to the... Oh, he's saying this to me. I would say you have graduated to the beginning stages of a medium-sized YouTuber, especially from 10 years ago when I first started watching. Wow, you've been with me all the way. You were always playing your guitar then, and worked at a dairy, I believe. Well, I did play my guitar a lot back in the day when I first got started. Something I don't really do anymore. But I never worked at a dairy. I don't know where that's coming from. But he says he thinks I've graduated now to medium-sized YouTuber. Awesome! I'm medium. Sweet. That's my favorite size of drink. Michael B, the Game Genie, one of my oldest buddies here on YouTube. Michael B, great guy. If you don't already watch Michael B, the Game Genie, go check him out. He says, it's all relative. I consider small under the 100K benchmark. So there you go. Mike thinks, he's thinking subscriber count. And under 100,000 subscribers, you're still in the small YouTubers club. Ben Yoder. I think the problem is smaller, quote unquote, is vague, so it really can mean all of those things, lol. But I think when you boil it down, real view count is what would matter most. But sub count is definitely the easiest bar to look at, to just get a quick glance at the penetration a YouTuber has. Which, yeah, good point. I mean, looking at subscriber count, it lets you know that maybe a substantial number of people have seen this person's videos and decided they wanted to see more. But he says real view count, which again, you have to kind of look. It's an amalgamation, right? Your monthly views or whatever. But you know, look at a sub count versus a view count, and some channels have huge subscriber counts and they have huge view counts too, because people really like their videos and they come back time and time again. I think of stuff like, John Tron or like Red Letter Media or Cinemasker, or at least whenever he does, when James Rolfe does Angry Video Game Nerd. These channels, they have millions of subscribers and their videos typically get millions of views as well, because they're very popular. But then there are other channels, I don't want to name drop too many people here, but I think of something like, maybe like a Review Tech USA or something like that, where there's like 1 million subscribers to the channel, but typically the videos don't get nearly that much. Maybe they'll get like somewhere between, I don't know, 30,000 views or something like that, under 10%. So it depends, I guess, on the quality of the content. If you do YouTube in any capacity, you are a big YouTuber, period. That comes from Brian Frobert. If you do YouTube in any capacity, you are a big YouTuber. Well, he's looking on the bright side. That's nice of him. Jay at 0J on Twitter. Honestly, I don't really draw a line there, except that large YouTubers are all the people I don't see at all unless I sign out of YouTube, like Mr. Beast and such. Yeah, I can see that. Like most of the YouTube stuff I watch, a lot of it is from I guess not to that level, like Mr. Beast and stuff like that. That's all like millions and millions of subs and stuff like that. The only channels I watch that have like you know, on that level of millions of subs and stuff, again, stuff like Red Letter Media, JonTron, just stuff that's kind of like funny. Don't have to take it too seriously. It's often its own little world kind of on YouTube. But yeah, most of the creators I watch on YouTube you could consider smaller than that, at least. People with like under 500,000 subs and stuff. I'm at 407 subs. This is Deadman on Twitter. I'm at 407 subs and get 20 to 50 views on my main content, so that's a smaller YouTuber for sure. I go off of subs usually, but views are important in the metric also. Typically 1,000 subs and 200 plus views are when the upswing happens. Not for all of us. But I see what you mean there. Basically, it's kind of like once the train starts moving down the track, you've got some momentum going. As long as you kind of remain steady with your uploads. Mario Monteroso. I don't know about your question, but I do know that your content has been getting better every year. That's the best comment for sure. I think we can all agree. Mario Monteroso, very insightful, very intelligent, very well stated, accurate. Thank you for that. Best reply to this tweet. Ross Moffat, I'd say when you are catering for a niche market, you will always be smaller in the broader sense. Which, yeah, I think if, you know, you're working, like me, like, you know, I do like Japan-related content, but I'm not like a J vlogger, really. In the strictest sense. People like, there's like Abroad in Japan and a bunch of other ones. I've always had a gaming channel and a retro gaming channel specifically, and that's a more niche audience. Sometimes the stuff I make, the Japan kind of like angle, I guess, is a little understated sometimes. Willem Verhey, I think. He says, I guess I'd call it someone who has built a small community and does get like a few thousand views on their stuff. Someone who does make videos but hardly has any views or interaction at all, I'd call an aspiring or starting YouTuber. And goes on and on. But I think that's enough. I think we made our point. It's subjective, it's all over the place. To me, a big YouTuber is someone who's living off of their YouTube ad revenue, you know. So you could have 150,000 subs, you could have 3 million. If you're consistently putting out content and you're making enough money where you're just like, okay, I quit my job, this is what I want to do for a living now, that's what I consider to be like a big YouTuber, a bigger YouTuber, because we put those qualifiers, bigger, smaller. And I do still consider myself a smaller YouTuber, although it was introduced in that chain of tweets, the medium-sized YouTuber. How did I not think of it? Medium. Between small and big is medium. We all know this. Again, my favorite size of drink. But now I open the floor to you in the comments. How do you define those things? Or do you even care? Do you not? Is it all just arbitrary? Who gives a shit who's bigger or smaller? It's not the size of the YouTube channel that counts, damn it. It's how you use it. How did it take me this long to get to that joke? Right here at the end of the video, and it took me that long to think of that. But yeah, let me know down in the comments. What do you think about this question, this topic? What separates a smaller YouTuber from a bigger YouTuber, aside from their height? Oh, I missed that. Somebody tweeted a reply. It was like something like 40 some odd inches, I think, is the cutoff. Anyone under about 5'3". So there you go. There's your smaller YouTubers. So thanks, everybody, for listening. Make your voice heard down in those comments. I'd love to hear from you. And now I gotta get back to drinking this beer and beating this summer heat. So, again, thanks for listening, everybody. And I will see you on the next one. Or I won't see you, but I'll speak to you on the next one. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.